Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to talk about how to connect when you disagree. Now, this could be with your partner, with your children, with your colleagues, anyone in your life with whom you are actively in a disagreement, but you want to build a bridge, you want to connect, you actually want to deepen that relationship rather than go shallower, right? Oftentimes when we disagree with somebody, we'll either uh, scuttle the whole thing by picking a fight, that can easily escalate into a full-on argument and a fight, or as I tend to do more often, take it shallower by being quiet. Oh, okay, well, this is fine, and just continue on, but it actually isn't fine. So sort of making peace in an attempt to make it look like you agree, but you still disagree. So if you want to actually go deeper rather than shallower, here are some thoughts for you to try out. The four most powerful words for connecting are, I might be wrong. Now, how is that uh, a way forward for connecting and not simply selling out your values, right? Because you might be saying, uh, if I really believe in something, I don't want to just say it might be wrong. I actually believe in this. I've thought about it. This is where I stand. This is what I believe in. I'm not just going to roll over and let my partner have their way, for instance. But the fact is, to paraphrase the great Ken Wilber, nobody is smart enough to be wrong 100% of the time. So that's his way of seeing everybody's perspective, as much as you may disagree with it, is going to have some element of truth. So try to find that truth. And I would also say no one's lucky enough to be right 100% of the time. There's so much about life that we really can't know until we move forward with a particular position or we try something out. And no one's lucky enough to be right all of the time. So between those two, I hope that opens up a little space in your mind that there's just truth in the fact that I might be wrong. So starting from there, why do we cling so tightly to our position? Like, why is it so unfathomable to think I might be wrong? Well, because being wrong, we feel like our world will crumble. Right? That's why we cling so tightly to it. It feels bad to have your fundamental beliefs questioned or to have your assumptions about how things are invalidated. Right? We build our entire lives, we build our sense of self on certain beliefs. And so to question, um, anything as simple as what should the kids eat for breakfast? How should we spend our money? How much screen time is too much screen time? What does a good education look like? What does closeness and intimacy look like? We're walking around with this bag of beliefs on our shoulder, and to question any of those, we feel like, well, then I will have wasted all that effort lugging around this bag. I don't want to have wasted that effort, right? This is just the human brain dealing with, in this case, sunk costs, I suppose, right? Sunk philosophical costs in terms of what you've been investing in that bag and in how it has created your self-image over time. We feel shame and humiliation over investing in beliefs or approaches to life, approaches to parenting, relationships, work, uh, self-development, whatever it is, that if those are proven to be wrong, if you open yourself up to the possibility that there might be other approaches, um, feels like opening yourself up to shame and embarrassment and those kinds of things. So it's natural to want to protect yourself from the idea of being wrong. But the problem with that protection is that it gets in the way of you being happy. When we started with the idea that a disagreement can take your relationship shallower, either in the aggressive form of just arguing and fighting about it and getting nowhere, or in the I said the more kind of peaceful looking format of just papering it over. Either way, it's getting shallower, not deeper. So if you want to increase the love and the depth that you share with your partner, then allowing yourself to be open to this shaking of your, I say foundations, but it's not really your foundations. It's kind of the, if the foundation is your soul, right? Your deeper spiritual essence, then what we're talking about here really is just the it's sort of the window dressing. It's the paint, right? It's the paint on your house. I keep coming back to the house as a metaphor for a relationship, but your ideas, these things that we cling so tightly to, is like, but I love this yellow color on the wall. I couldn't ever imagine changing it. But if you say, this is an actual uh, conversation in our house, is this yellow is terrible. That's Erin's position. Mine is, I kind of like it. It's okay. But being open to changing it means you're open to more connection. Now, changing it could look like many things. It doesn't even have to mean changing your ideas to see from your partner's perspective. It could look like compromises, taking turns with how you do things. It could also just look like seeing other perspectives fully, right? How often does our uh, uh, entrenchment, our clinging to that position, keep us from even listening or stepping out of that position just to see another position? It doesn't mean that you may not come back to where you started from in whatever the topic is, but actually seeing the other perspective, which means really listening and considering and asking with curiosity. Taking a moment out of your own position, taking a break from that insistence on being right, it's like a breath of fresh air. You're doing it for yourself, right? That's the magical thing about all of this work that we're talking about with relationships is it looks like you're doing it for the relationship or uh, yeah, for the relationship or for the other person, but really you're letting go of this need to be right for your own self, to take a break, take a breath, to really listen and connect with another person, to stretch your mind to consider another perspective. Easier said than done. Um, this is real inner work to see what is it that I'm holding on to? Why am I holding on to it so tightly? And it all opens up with these four letters, these four words, I might be wrong, or there may be more, right? However you like to think about it. Some way of opening yourself up to the other in order to build that bridge and grow yourself. So those are my thoughts on how to connect when you disagree. I'd love to hear from you, share your insights on this, give me any feedback, any criticism, anything that you would like to engage with on this topic. I'd love to hear from you. Um, for more relationship insights and support, join me and Erin. We're doing a 5-day Bring Back the Love challenge over at revitalizeyourrelationship.com/challenge. Revitalizeyourrelationship.com/challenge. And it's free. It's 5 days. It's fun. Go sign up for it. And I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.